In this video, I'm going to talk about issues of file management. Now, I'm in the Sketchup homepage where I've got a bunch of my files. And as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of versions of the Sketchup model that I've been working on. It's highly recommended that you continue to create these copies. Before you start an assignment, you can go to the three dots here and duplicate. Now, it will automatically, by default, change the number. So if I created a duplicate from Pavilion 6, it's going to create Pavilion 7. If you feel like you need more detail about what's included in these, you can always rename them by clicking on the rename here. You do have the last modified date and time stamp that can be helpful too. But one thing that you'll find when you're studying in a class like this, or if you're in a program like this, is that you will create many, many files of your work. And, it's fine to continue to revise the same file, but it can be kind of dangerous in that you may want to go back to a prior version because something happened to the file or you lost a file. So it's really helpful to have a series of backup files that you can go back to if necessary. And also I would suggest that you take time to go back through your files and take the time to rename, to kind of clarify what they are. If all of them are named plan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over the course of time, you will lose track of what is what, and you'll have to open the file to find out what's in it. So if you can give more detail about what's included in the file name, you'll find that's pretty helpful. Another recommendation is that you save files in more than one place. Typically, it's recommended that you save a file locally and then one on the cloud. So using SketchUp Free, they're automatically being saved to the cloud. But things happen, and it's always a good idea to reserve another copy. Now, you also have access to the Google Drive, which we've been using for class, and so that's another place that you can back up. But you may decide to maintain a hard drive of all of the files that you use. If you study architecture, you'll find you have thousands of files of different types. So developing a good strategy for file management is really important. Now I'm going to open my most recent SketchUp file. And file management also comes within a file itself. In SketchUp and in other software where you are creating views and kind of navigating from different positions within the model, you'll have options to create or to save a various view, and SketchUp is no exception. So one thing that I would recommend that you do is, when you create a new scene, it will default to the next in the sequence, scene 6, scene 7, scene whatever, etc. After a while, you start to lose track of what is what. And so it's a good idea to come and give specific names to things. If you have two versions of the same drawing or the same view, you may want to call one roof plan 1 and another one roof plan 2. Another thing that you can start to do would be to delete some of them. So when I click on a scene, I can hit the trash can here, and it will allow me to delete them. I can also move them within the sequence. So if you hold it down and drag it, you can kind of shift them around in an order that's maybe easier for you to navigate. So right now I'm in a view that I've named 3D view from Northeast 2. And, when you click on the add scene button down here, it's going to save all of the settings. So if, for example, I want to change the style of this particular view, let's just see what this one looks like. Okay, so let's say I like this style and I want to save it. You have to create a new scene for this. It will not be saved to the scene that was just used. If I click on this again, it's going to revert back to the original style. So if I did make this change, I need to save a new scene for it by clicking on the plus symbol. So in that case, maybe I would name the new scene 3D view from Northeast 3. Or I could give it a temporary name, delete this one, and replace it with this name. The same goes for the files that you download from SketchUp. Here I've created a folder on my personal device, and I've, when it downloads, it's going to take on the name of the scene that it came from. So I've gone through and I've renamed a bunch of these. Now I could continue to sort of simplify the naming here and get rid of stuff I don't need, but I want the name to sort of indicate what it is that the image represents. And I've also, you can see there's a little number 1 in front of some of these and a number 2 in front of the other ones, as I'm considering different visual styles, and I just want to kind of keep things separated until I can make my final decision about which one to go with. Correction, I think that when it downloads, it goes to the file name. So Pavilion 6.1, Pavilion 6, in parentheses 2, 3, etc. So you can see, like, if you've downloaded 20 images from the SketchUp model, you're going to have a little bit of a mess on your hands in terms of kind of figuring out what is what. So coming through and giving proper names to things will be helpful later. And it also will help you, again, in the long run, there is a tool that allows you to sort of search for a title of something. And so this can be really helpful at some point in being able to locate a file either on your local device, and other search tools are available in other file management systems like the Google Drive. So just to give you a heads up on what you'll be doing for this assignment, you'll be taking a bunch of images from the SketchUp model and organizing them in a single file, in a single sheet. So you can see here there are 11 images that were developed over time. And some of these, maybe I had to create several versions before I kind of got it to be what I wanted it to be. And I may continue to kind of swap out images with new images. So getting back to this whole issue of file management, it's really important that you're organized with all your materials. Right, and we'll continue talking about the layouts throughout this assignment.